In this video, we are going to talk about your love of pets, and pets' love for you. So before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Researchers spend a lot of time exploring what has become known as human-animal interactions, and the pet industry spends a lot of money promoting what it prefers to call the human-animal bond. But that concept might have been laughable a century ago, when animals served a more utilitarian role in our lives. And it was deeply unfashionable among scholars as recently as the 1980s, as John Bradshaw writes in his new book, The Animals Among Us: How Pets Make Us Human. Before we have a tendency to begin, why don't you hit the subscribe button? And the bell notification icon so that you never miss any of our videos. Let's begin. Your love of pets. We think it's about a puzzling and unusually unique effect pets give to people, which is what we call the trustworthiness effect, which hasn't received a huge amount of attention in the press, but it has been replicated in studies in several different countries. People with animals, or as simply described as having a friendly dog with them, instantly become more trustworthy in the eyes of the person who's encountering that person or having that person described to them. We think it actually explains quite a lot. People are believed when they tell nice stories about animals. Whether that applies to news reports as well, we're just guessing, but we think it's a reasonable explanation. We think it also explains a lot of the effects of animal-assisted therapy. The magic is actually in making the person with the animal much more approachable. In a senior residence, it's not simply the seniors who find the visitor a good person to talk to, but the staff finds the visits beneficial as well. It makes the whole place seem a bit more homely. The dog, or whatever animal, is changing people's perception of the person doing the therapy. This is the trustworthiness factor, and it explains quite a lot of our biases. Why do we keep getting pets? One answer is that there is this satisfaction stroking a dog, or a cat causes hormones to be released and makes the person doing it feel good. We think you can trace that back to our very ancient history as hairy primates. Grooming one another is the main glue that holds most primate societies together. Now we've got other ways of socializing, but somewhere deep in our brains is a need to do this grooming of something that's hairy, and we can satisfy that by stroking a dog or combing the cat. We also have to explain why it's persisted when we'd have more money if we didn't have pets. We think it used to be adaptive people who were seen to be good, with animals were more accepted by other people in their tribe, and there may have even been some selection for brides and grooms based on affinity with animals. Second, domestication of animals has been a very important aspect of the emergence of what we call civilization. But it's actually intrinsically improbable, because to domesticate an animal you have to change its genetics. Even nowadays that takes many generations. We think the only way you can account for the separation of domestic animals from their wild ancestors, and the only way they stopped interbreeding, is because the domestic animals, the ones that were slightly tamer, were people's pets and so were physically and emotionally and culturally separated. So we had the emergence of a domestic dog, which is useful, a domestic cat, which can be useful, because it hunts around houses, and goats and sheep that you can herd and milk. Pet keeping became an advantage, because the societies that were good at it, and wanted to do it domesticated animals before other neighboring societies and groups of people. Pets' love for you. Pets give people so much in terms of love and emotional support. Simply stroking a dog, cat, rabbit or even horse can lead to lower blood pressure and can combat stress. The feelings are reciprocated, as our touch can have therapeutic effects for our pets, particularly if they are feeling out of sorts. Companion animals can provide support and friendship to society's lonely, sick or elderly. They can be friends to those who do not easily understand the world around them. Autistic children, for instance, can be guided gently from their closed, confusing and isolated worlds by a patient and loving dog or cat. Anxiety disorders and depression also can be eased by the loving presence of a pet. The wider bond between people and dogs has strengthened over time, around 30,000 years to be precise. Canines have the unique ability to pick up on how we are feeling according to various studies, and similar research is being carried out with cats. For example, animal cognition scientists at Emory University, in the US trained dogs to lie still in an MRI machine and used fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, to track their neural responses to the smell of people and dogs, both familiar and unknown. Because dogs navigate the world through their noses, the way they process smell offers a lot of potential insight into how they interact with the world around them. The scientists found that dog owners' aroma actually sparked activation in the reward center of their brains, called the caudate nucleus. This effectively found that canines have the ability to distinguish between us and the huge amount of other olfactory stimuli around them. In Budapest, researchers at Eötvös Loránd University studied canine brain activity in response to different human and dog sounds, including voices, barks and the meaningful grunts and sighs both species emit. Researchers discovered that happy sounds in particular light up the auditory cortex in both people and dogs. This strengthens the argument that humans and canines have a uniquely strong and resilient bond. Many people rail against the increasing humanization of our pets, but I think that's wrong. People aren't generally trying to turn their pets into little humans. They are instead seeing companion animals increasingly as loving, sentient creatures that, as even science has proven, truly love us. Our pets deserve human-grade food, a warm and safe place to rest, plenty of exercise and our unconditional love and attention. Perhaps it's a sign of the good side of our human natures that we are increasingly willing to provide these things? Is love all that a pet needs? Absolutely not. There are some who believe that love solves behavior problems in dogs and cats. This especially comes up when rescuing animals. While loving a pet is certainly a good thing, love doesn't solve all, though I wish it could. For example, if your newly adopted dog is aggressive to strangers, love all by itself won't solve the problem. In fact, it's dangerous to continue living with an aggressive dog without seeking out appropriate professional help. And without treatment, most behavior problems only worsen over time, no matter how much love we apply. If the cat is tinkling outside the litter box, shower all the love you can on that cat, but if there is one litter box in a home with 5 cats, love isn't all that cat needs, the answer is more litter boxes. Having said that, some pets who require building trust again absolutely turn around in loving homes. But sometimes we can spoil pets with misplaced love or even too much love unbalanced by inappropriate care. For instance, in most cultures love is associated with food. No wonder, then, that more than half of all dogs and cats in the US are overweight or obese. And though we may consider them to be family members, dogs are still dogs and cats are still cats. We can't change that. Treating them like human children may come from a good place, but it is decidedly not beneficial. They do need appropriate outlets to express their natural behaviors, the things they were born to do. Providing those opportunities is something zoos have figured out how to do, but pet owners are just starting to understand that companion animals have the same needs. Is love limited to humans? Love might best be described when one being is willing to risk his or her own life to save a loved one. There are countless stories of dogs, and yes, cats too, doing just that, risking their own lives to save their human. It wasn't that long ago that scientists reserved any and all emotions for the human species. Today, we know better. We believe that dogs especially may love us unconditionally, which sometimes isn't to their benefit. Abuse a dog, and it's possible that dog will keep coming back, continually giving love back, only to be abused again and again. Sometimes people will do the same. As for dogs, the explanation may be in their genes. Dogs co-evolved with the human species and are hardwired to bond with us. What do you think of our list? Which of the habit you like the most? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notification before you go. Happy PetLentine Day! Do you agree that women love men with a pet? Thanks for watching.